Hey guys, welcome back to Making It. Today we're gonna be doing one of my favorite things, breaking down a fish. I'm gonna show you some butchery, taking a whole fish that I caught, showing you the cuts that I like, how I like to handle it, how I like to scale it, clean it, all the things to prepare a fish. We're gonna be breaking down from the tail to the head there, how you should be treating your fish, and certain little tips along the way to make it easier and cleaner and tastier and all the things. Before we get cooking, I like to do a little ingredient shrine, really simple one today. We have a couple cool new things that I'd like to share with you, a little show and tell. Peg, my lovely wife, got me these new glasses. Look, little wild goose and a pheasant. They're nice. What else? We got my Valens sunglasses, all right? If you guys are looking for some slick glasses, check out the Valens. I've been rocking them for forever, and they're awesome. They're great little bangers. I love, we designed them together, have that nice little ambery type of light the world up lens. Check them out, Valen, check them out, they're great, we love you. And that's kind of it, the normal stuff. We got some tools other than the fish, but first off, the main ingredient, the only ingredient, the iconic striped bass. Saltwater, migratory, runs up, you know, from the Chesapeake waters up to Maine, you know, up to even like Nova Scotia and stuff. Really fun fish. It's a protected fish. I respect that. I harvest a few every year. There's a slot size, as they call it, which is very strictly enforced. From the head to the tail, 29 to 31 in Connecticut, maybe even everywhere. Check your regs. You're allowed one a day by me. I was out with the boys, with the kiddos. The fishing's been awesome this year. You know, we catch something, a legal one, you know, a few a year. The boys are fired up. They want to cook it. They catch it. So I love doing it, and I love the process, and I love cutting them. I hang them in my walk-in. I let them age a little, which we can talk about. Things that you can even do at your house to kind of achieve the same effect. In my opinion, it makes an exquisite final product. People tell me it's some of the best fish, definitely some of the best striper or rockfish they've ever had. And it's just a couple little things that you can do to really bring it from to world class. We have kitchen shears. I highly recommend you have a pair for all types of butchery, especially fish. I use this for like everything. You just want something sharp, something thin. I like a little more rigid. This Benchmade has been my kind of workhorse for basically all types of butchery. Some people like more of a flex blade like this one. I use this to take the skin off often. This is a great knife too. And just make sure I like to throw it on the honing steel there. Just pick that little quick edge up. Some rags, cleanliness. You want everything nice. Like I'm inspired by sushi chefs. You see them clean, wiping their blades. Nice, nice, nice. What I do on the boat as soon as I catch them, this is huge. I mean, a lot of people know this, but if you don't, and you do plan on keeping a fish, any fish, as soon as you get it on, cut the gills, right? That's its lungs, big arteries, and essentially you want to get that blood out. If you can put it in like a ice saltwater slurry in a bucket, most important, cut those gills, throw it down on the bottom of the boat by the drain there, hit it with the wash down hose or something, but you want to get that blood out. But what I like to do right after that, gut the fish and scale it. I scale it first because I find it to be a little easier. What I recommend you using, there's two types. This is like a livestock brush, all right? I think you horse people might know about them, you know, brushing horses or a cow's ass or something. But it's just like these really serrated coarse rings. It's phenomenal. And then there's like the Japanese brass one, which works great. This I get for some of the tougher spots, smaller species, or that little blood spots on the inside, which I'll show you in a second. Both great tools to have for scaling. Do it where you catch it. And besides, scales make a friggin' mess. You do it in your yard once, you'll never want to do it again. Do it on the boat, rinse it right in the salt water, gut it right on the boat. It's amazing. I don't even use a knife anymore to clean the fish on the boat. I find it a lot safer and honestly just a little bit easier in a way. And what you do is you start right at the old vent, as they call it, Bill, the fish butthole, okay? And you take the tip of your shear, stick it right in there, and you just cut right up the belly, right in between those little pec fins, right up through the collar to the gills there. Open it up, rip your guts out, throw it to everything, man. The crabs, the seagulls, everything's gonna eat that. Go in the gill plate, because what goes bad on fish, what starts to smell nasty and fishy and gross, it's the blood. That's why you bleed the fish, you wanna get it out of the meat. But then when you go to bring this home, I like to hang it for a few days, cut the gills out, they get kind of nasty. Use your shears, snip, 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 snip. Cut, 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 boom, 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 clean, clean, clean. I take this little guy at that point, right inside here. This is pretty clean and this has been hanging for a while. This is a gorgeous fish. But they have right on this, like this bloodline, right in the gills here. There'll be like a dark spot. I like to do that right in the salt water. Just rub it with this thing, break it up, get it out. Again, you wanna get as much blood out of that fish as possible. All right, it's gonna make for a cleaner meat, a cleaner flavor, smell, everything. Remember, fish shouldn't be fishy. It should smell delicious, like seafood, like the ocean, not like a chum bucket.
You trying to kill us?
Sometimes you notice you put a fish in a cooler and you pull it out of the ice and it's all rigor mortis. It's all lumpy and weird and conformed. You know, everything goes into a little bit of rigor after it dies. Just like a deer or cattle or anything, you know, you let things hang. And what I do is I get these little meat hooks. You can hang it in a mini fridge or get yourself like the old deli fridge, put it in the garage or something, or just a used fridge, hang it. I like doing tail up, head down, allowing for any drainage left in the meat, in the head, in the gills, and just drips down onto a little tray in the fridge. And what that does is I find it gets the meat to firm up. I find it to be a little sweeter, a little firmer. It wicks off moisture. It cooks delightfully. The skin gets crispy. The meat is just firm and glistening, and it's just kind of perfect. I found with this fish, 3-4 days up to a week, I've gone 2. At some point, it does start to not be better. I've never had it be bad, but it kind of peaked. So something like this, I find like 4 days to a week is kind of the sweet spot. A lot of guys, you go on these boats, they'll flay them in a second, spray it down with the freshwater hose, throw it in a bag, give it to you. You get home, it's fishy, it's nasty, it's sitting in fresh water. A fish and that flesh has no business in fresh water. It never touched it in its life. It just degrades it and strips out flavor and texture. You can see it starts to change it. Keep it away from that, keep it dry, and keep it cold. But the collars, the bellies, I'll show you, probably my favorite part on the fish. The rack, the head, the bones, make stock. Every part of this fish you can consume. It's just phenomenal. So enough yapping. I'll show you how I like to cut, break down, and break down into pieces the striped bass. All right, so we have our fish laid out, nice size cutting board. Give yourself some room, nice little sharp knife. And what I like to do, again, there's a lot of different ways to do this. I make a little cut on the tail. That's where I'm gonna be going to. There's meat in there still that it'll just be added to my stock. There's meat all the way up to the head, and that's why scaling it makes it, and doing a good job, makes cutting it so much easier, because those little the scales are big. It's like armor. I'm gonna make a cut down the collar behind the fin, just make a nice little cut, little swoop cut right down to the belly. And then from there, you take your knife and you follow the spine. The spine of the fish is flat, right? Like the bones, there's the racks, and the bones go up towards the fins here. You can follow that nice the body, the carcass, the bones of the fish with your knife. And again, you're gonna screw it up. Things happen, you're gonna do it perfect sometimes, but that's what you wanna do. Get as much as that clean down to the bone, use it as your guide down to your stop line, and then when you get to your rib bones, the belly bones, go all the way until you start to hit them, okay? As far as you can, using that blade. That's why some people like a little flex. I like a little flex, but some stiffness, where you can pull it on those bones there. When you get to those beginning of those rib bones, I like to use the shears, again, hugging right by that spine. You can kind of see bop, 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 the bones. Snip it all the way up to the head, releasing your fillet. I take the snips. This is just a little bit of that like air bladder, belly, I don't know, a little boo-boo. We want to get rid of that, okay? You cut that right out. That's that belly, the meat. I don't know what, it's the toro of the bass, of any fish. Fatty, delicious, incredible. Not big bloodlines, clean meat. Comes right off. That's our belly. We'll cut that out right where it starts there. You just, if you feel the bones, move it over a little. Pushing down with your tip to cut through the skin. Bones in, you're removing those bones from that fillet. There are no more bones. This is a boneless piece of meat right now, okay? Delicious, beautiful. Now you have this, which is fatty. All the fat drained out of it, cleaned up. But look at this, is glistening. This is one of my favorite parts of the fish. Just delicious textured meat running through those bones. It's like it's the ribs, it's the toro, and it's phenomenal, all right? I like to cut them into 2s. It's definitely one of the best parts. Do not get rid of that. Shears go right through the bones. And now we're talking. I mean, it's definitely not boneless. Maybe not the entry level piece, but maybe. So belly, prime fillet. And then we have our collar, all right? There's meat up in here, and I used to go nuts, and it's real bony. That collar bone in there is hard. It's a pretty serious thing. You're not doing it with your knife. I trouble with the sear sometimes. What I do is I'll go right in where that bone is attached to that spine. Just go in with your shears and trim them right off, all right? Right to the bone. Cutting through that last little piece up to the tip. It's, sometimes they're connected here, I must have got it when I was cleaning it, but that's your collar. I keep it whole. Same with the belly. It's phenomenal grilled. The meat it's some of the best. You can do it with all types of fish. You see it with tuna collars a lot, or hamachi or something, but fatty, delicious. It's just kind of, I can't say it enough, kind of the best part of the whole fish, that and the belly. If you don't like this, you don't really like fish. I don't know what to say. Now we have our one side, collar, belly, main fillet removed, all right? And you can really get to see those bones, that skeleton that I was talking about, using as your guide. All right, we're gonna repeat the same thing on the other side. Some folks like to remove the head, makes it easier. I always struggle a little bit with the second side. It's just a little awkward. It's like on the other side. You kind of get stuck in your one. For me, it's always one's a little bit better, but I'm getting a little bit better at it. So you find your little quirks. Same kind of principle. You might change where you cut or do something like that, but it's the exact same thing. And what you're left with is a pretty cleaned out rack, okay? I break it in half, make stock. It's phenomenal. It gels up. Striped bass makes an incredible stock. The head, home run. Gelatin factory, make the best stock for chowder or soups you've ever had. Or sometimes I'll take them and I'll put them in my little bait minnow traps, all right? Or like a crab trap or something. Don't throw it in the garbage, bury it in your garden, anything but the landfill. You deserve better, the earth deserves better, the fish deserves better. I'm gonna go pop this back in the fridge and show you how I like to finish the fillets. What I like to do is for portions, right? Say you got some people coming over, I like to set yourself up. You can keep this in the fridge for a few days now. I mean, you're set. There's not too much to go bad on it. Refrigerated, it's still probably fresher than the stuff you're getting at the store.
Yeah.
But I take my knife, I'll go right down that bloodline. Again, if it's nasty or if it's gnarly, you can cut it out. But that's what I'm talking about. It cooks up a little darker. Again, there's nothing wrong with it. If you want to geek out, again, 1/8 inch to the dog bowl. It's actually delicious. There's nothing wrong with it. Sometimes I feel silly cutting it out. But now we're left with these little portions, all right? Much more manageable. And I like to remove the skin at this point if you want to do that, if that's your thing. I'll start at either end of the tip, make a little cut down, all right, and then go sideways. Little through the meat, and then whoop, right to that skin. I like to use that more flexible knife for this, all right, that classic fillet knife. Get down to that skin, go flat, use this to hold, all right? That little bit of waste, cut it off, put it in the stock, put it in the dog bowl. And you're using that knife, holding onto the skin tab, and you're pulling the skin and just running your knife flat on the table, all right? Minimal. A little bit of that on there is a good sign, all right? Nice and flat, all right? If you make a mistake, we all do. Go back, clean it up, learn from your mistakes, move on. But you're just left with a nice little oily piece of skin. You know who likes scaleless skin, cooked up? Greasy. Keeps his coat nice and furry. Right off there, easy, all right? That's how you do it. Minimal waste, boom. Same with this little guy. And then you're left with little portions, all right? Before you get to the grill, you're setting yourself up like a doctor, okay? Boom. And you're cranking. I mean, look how clean that meat is. Glistening, clear as cod. See that shine? It smells like the ocean, all right? There is nothing wrong with that. Treat it like a prize. Geek out. If you're gonna cook the fish, get into it. Geek out, take the steps. If you take one, don't bleed it. Let it sit on the deck with the blood in there, beaten up in the hot sun while you're out there drinking beer and smoking cigarettes, whatever you do in Long Island. Sorry, I love Long Island. It would be different. The meat wouldn't be as white. That bloodline would be a lot darker, a lot more predominant. There would be a little bit more pink hue. That's what we're looking for. I mean, that's a sign to me of good quality fish, is when you get that shine, that glistening, glassy, icy shine to it. Fresh, firm. You know it's gonna be sweet. All right, so we have our fish broken down, our boneless, skinless, perfect little fillet chunks, our portions, okay? Leave the skin on if you want. And then our bellies, all right, our skin on belly. Cook them hard, cook them nice, cook them a little more than you think. You don't want like a slightly undercooked collar, okay? But definitely don't throw them away. Definitely don't just put them in the stock. And treat your fish nice, man. Bleed them. You know, it all starts from when you decide to kill it. And it should be respected and cherished, and it's a beautiful ritual, and I love the process, to be honest, and growing and getting better at it. It's really kind of what it's all about. So have fun fishing out there, be responsible, and enjoy it, man, all right? Lighten up, take care of the ocean, take care of your neighbor. Yeah, me and Billy are gonna cook a little snack, and maybe we'll do some more little breakdown stuff. I like this, little toot-toot-toots. All right, have a good summer, be responsible, and get a dog if you like dogs. Adopt one, that's kind of the move. Right, Reethy boy? Bonnie Grow, yeah. See you next time, dorks. So hot outside, I wanna go swimming so bad, man, with the fishes. Little music. Why you wanna break my heart? Ooh.